Welcome to Beauty Business Matters. I'm Susan Routledge, your host, and I just love this episode ahead of us recording it. I am here with Nikki Madani, who is not only one of the nicest people in the industry, if not the nicest. I just love spending time with you. But also you just have an awesome product called Hypo21, which I stock in my business. I know an awful lot of like our members in Beauty Directors Club stock your product, and a lot of salons across the UK and clinics. It's just an awesome product. It's like, I honestly think that it's the best thing I've ever come across in all the 37 years that I've ever, since I've had my clinic. So welcome, Nikki.
Thank you. You're so kind to me, and thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah. So I know you don't do very many interviews.
No.
So this is why it makes it so special, because now I can grill you and find out all about you, all about how all of this came about. So let's start.
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about you, your background.
So my background is very different. So I'm not sort of, previously in beauty business at all. So my background's in dentistry. So I started as a dental nurse as a 16-year-old, getting my qualifications and just moving my way up the ladder really in the dental world. But then, it's all I knew before I started working in the beauty business.
And is that all you really wanted to do?
It was always, I started as a trainee dental nurse when I was 16 years old, and I just loved it. I loved every bit of it. It was a different world then, but it was just exciting. I was learning something new every day, and it was the only world I knew really.
Yeah.
And then obviously, did sales, did so many different practice managements, did so many different things in the dental industry, and just made myself, up the ladder.
And where were you based?
I worked all around the West End, so basically all around Harley Street and Wimpole Street. I initially started in North London as a trainee dental nurse, and then just went on to work in sort of various amazing clinics with various different, absolutely wonderful dentists as well. Did anything from just normal checkups and examinations to implants, surgeries, and quite extensive dental work.
Wow.
Quite loved it. It was very exciting, very different. And then this whole journey with Hypo21 started.
How did that start? Well, first of all, let's go back. So I don't really know very much about like training as a dental nurse. Do you go down the same kind of route as a standard nursing qualification, or is it?
Well, this is over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So when I first started, over 25 years ago actually. So it was yes. So the training was quite extensive. Not as much as a trainee nurse.
Yeah.
But more into sort of the dental side of things. Yeah, the training was quite extensive, and you had to know quite certain things about the anatomy and the science and those kind of things.
And was that so part going to college to train and
we had to do both. So we had to be working full time, but as well as studying as well. And everything we did was monitored through the college and the teachers and assessors. And then obviously there was the final exam that you set your exam, and then you get your qualifications, which was quite exciting. But then things have changed massively since then as well. I think dental nurses now go through a lot more than we did 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So they have to do quite a lot more training, a lot more sort of learning. But yeah, it's an exciting world. It's different. It's very niche. It's very different. But yeah.
And obviously, just before we start recording, I have just found out why Hypo21 is called Hypo21, because it's like, because it was founded in 21 or went out in 21. So did you do your dental nursing right up until you started to formulate Hypo21?
Well, more or less, yes. So I worked till about, I would say, 5 years before we launched Hypo21. And it was primarily because, when I was working in a dental practice, dentists did a lot of, I was trained with a dentist for Botox and fillers and, facial aesthetic work. And I was always just baffled as why we didn't have an aftercare to give. If we did a smaller surgery on a tooth, for example, we had this, aftercare that we would give patients. But after Botox and filler treatments or an aesthetic work, we genuinely didn't have much to give other than, don't wear makeup for 24 hours, you'll be fine. And it was just like, why? I could sort of see the patient going into the bathroom, coming out, and subconsciously, because we told them not to touch their face, they are touching their face, and they've just been to the loo as well. So I wanted to create something that, the dental world could give, or aesthetic world could give as an aftercare. So that's where the idea sort of started coming in.
So have you always been quite entrepreneurial? Because to go from that to going to develop a product and to getting it out how you have is quite entrepreneurial, to say the least.
Yeah, I've always loved running business. Yes, I did have a successful business prior to Hypo21. It was a dental consumable business. Oh. So I started that. You've met my husband, Ali. So we started that together. Again, dental world or consumer world is not his world at all, but he supported me. And but obviously selling consumable, especially in the dental world, it's very difficult because you have to have so many lines of different products, so many little drills and bits and pieces that we had to have. So it was getting too big for us, and we obviously young family as well. So we ended up selling that business, and then I just thought, I'll take a couple of years just to see, just to be a stay-at-home mum and just, look after my children. But I can't sit still. So that's when the idea of working on Hypo21 came about, really.
So were you using something similar?
No, not at all. So my husband's business they produce hypochlorous, but they do it for agricultural industries.
Right.
So he has a science team that have been producing hypochlorous, but it's obviously a different sort of hypochlorous. So when I was aware of the formulation and the science behind hypochlorous, because that's what I've heard, in 21 years of marriage, that's all I've heard, really. So that's when I was just like, I was having a chat with him once, and I said, I'm sure, you guys say safe, so maybe it can be a skincare as well. And he said, well, why don't you speak to the science guys and see what they say? So I set up a meeting with them, just went in, and I said, well, if it's used in agriculture, I'm sure we can somehow bottle it and sell it in aesthetic industry as well. They said, oh no, let me stop you there. It's not as easy as you think it's going to be. Because hypochlorous is how it's so important what sort of filtration you use for whatever industry you are. It's used in swimming pool industries, for example. It's used in agriculture. It's used in flower industries. It's used in so many different industries, but there are all different formulations.
So if someone doesn't know what hypochlorous is, can you just explain what it is?
So hypochlorous is what our own white blood cells produces to protect and heal us on the inside. So when your body goes through any trauma, whether you're experiencing from a cold or a virus or an infection, anything like that, your white blood cells produce a weak acid called hypochlorous acid to repair you internally. That's what hypochlorous is. So it's something that we already have in our immune system. But when it's produced outside the body, it's a very unstable formulation. So it first was discovered in World War I when a French scientist discovered it, and they used to use it on the soldiers' wounds and sort of get them to heal faster so they can get back to their job. But it's a very unstable formulation. Even then, it would only give them about 5 minutes of solution per soldier. Then they had to make a new batch for the next one. So it's a very unstable, very sensitive formulation when it's produced outside the body.
But it's it's chemical free though, isn't it?
Well, everything has chemical. So everything has chemical, but it depends on what sort of chemicals you use. So there are certain chemicals that your body understands and works with, but there are most chemicals that your body rejects because it doesn't understand it. So when hypochlorous is made outside the body, is a combination of salt, water, and electrolytes.
Yeah.
But it would only last 5 minutes. It doesn't last a long time. So unless you add chemicals into the formulation, you won't be able to bottle it and sell it as any form of hypochlorous, really. So this is where Hypo21 is different. And that's what the science team worked on for 5 years, because we didn't want to add chemicals. We wanted it to be as pure as possible. So when you spray it on the skin, we wanted body to understand and work with it. So our bodies are made almost 65 to 80% of salt water anyway, hence why our tears are salty and, our body fluid is quite salty. So it's that's why we wanted it to be as pure as possible. So we've managed to produce a filtration system that is unique to us. And this is what our science team worked on for 5 years. And that's what creates Hypo21 as it is with the pure formulation. So once the salt and water is mixed, then it goes through the electrolyte chambers where the light is shined through it. Again, that's still very unstable form till it goes through the filtration system. So once it's filtered, that's when it becomes stabilized. And that's what we've done. So we haven't added any chemicals as you would see in other hypochlorous products. For example, sodium hypochlorite, phosphoric acid, all sorts of different, chemicals that are out there. So that's why we've kept it as pure as possible. Hence why when you spray it on the skin, body understands that formula and starts to heal very quickly. So that was the prime target for us and our science team to work on.
And I bet that so you're saying it took 5 years to get
almost
to that?
5 years to get there. Yeah, it wasn't easy. As I said, they produce pure hypochlorous anyway, but to have it this pure that we can easily spray it on the skin or use as an oral rinse, we needed to have a different filtration system for it. And that's what took 5 years to build.
You must have been very patient. I don't know whether I'd ever had that patience.
It was during the pandemic. A lot of it fell into the pandemic as well. Yeah. But then I was working on the branding and, just in my mind, just like trying to work everything out. We are still, Hypo21 is a small family business. As I said, you've met my husband. Sometimes you see my daughter coming to help us. Yes. You've seen my cousin coming to help us. We are a small family business. So that's what we worked on for so long, for that 5 years. The science team was on that. I was, involved with the creation of the filtration system, but I was also working day and night on the branding and how I wanted everything to look and, challenges
I think
that comes with
the
that.
branding is perfect as well, isn't it? Because it's
just black and white.
Black and white, and it's just
simple, pure. Black and white.
I mean, I must admit, I use it for everything, and we don't go anywhere, holiday or anywhere, without taking Hypo21, and we've really tested it to its to its last because we I had a client who her dog had some eye infection and things, and the vets were going to do an operation. Yeah. So I'd said, try Hypo21. I think I rang you to say, can you put it on? Can animals use it? And it cleared it up straight away. Yeah. It was just absolutely phenomenal. And I mean, that dog was going to go through a whole operation and things. So, and I always think animals haven't got a clue what you're doing. Exactly. So, and as I say, within a matter of days, it was just so fast that healed, and I think that then just gave us confidence to be right, you can use it for everything, kind of thing. And since then we've had other clients who they get for their pets and things as well. But you can use it on anyone. I know you have products formulated for babies. I mean, one of our team who recently had a baby, she uses it all the time, and and has no nappy rash or anything.
It's brilliant for babies. Yeah.
And again, with it being chemical free,
yes.
it's just that confidence of knowing that you're not putting anything alien onto your skin or harsh. Yeah,
exactly. So you see, for example, nappy rash. When babies have nappy rash, the only thing the doctors or you can get is the creams that you put over the area, but you're not letting it breathe. It doesn't. You're just covering it for a short space of time. So by using Hypo21, as it's naturally antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal, so any bacteria that's lurking around to cause the irritation, it gets rid of it. And because their body is already producing this hypochlorous acid to sort of repair them internally, the two work together. So when you spray it topically, the two work together, and that's what speeds up the healing process.
Yeah.
And that's what it does it for any skin conditions, any irritation that's on the skin. So but it's brilliant for babies. It's the safest thing, and you can use it from birth, which is amazing.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, I've just never ever come across a product that it's suitable for everyone.
Yes.
Like it's unbelievable.
Yeah, you don't even have to have, this is what Andrew Hansford always says as well. You don't have to have skin irritation to use Hypo21, because the number one problem for the skin are all the pathogens around us. And that's what causes a lot of the skin issues. So if you're using a product that is naturally antibacterial and your body understands and works with, even if you have no skin irritation, still it gives you a healthier foundation for everything else to work on. So if you're using a line of, let's say, as a therapist, if you put in a routine together for your clients, if they are initially using Hypo21 to kill the bacteria that's on the skin, the bad bacteria on the skin, then it just gives them a healthier foundation for everything else, every other product to work as it should do efficiently. So it should be part of everyone's skincare routine, regardless of this.
And I can always remember talking about Andrew. Andrew, I can always, I'm sure, because he's travelling now, I'm sure he's doing this. I always spritz it on aeroplanes, and now I do as well, just to keep the air around you purified and everything. Yeah. And it's just
aeroplanes full of bacteria anyway, because everyone's breathing, everyone's sneezing, everyone's coughing at the same, in an enclosed space. Yes, there is air circulation, but it's not as much as we like it to be. And it's just the best thing to use on the planes, because you can even spray the air if you needed to, to get rid of all the bacteria.
And so there's an oral spray as well, isn't there, as well? So how does that differ, or is that the same?
So the products are obviously now all medically registered.
Yes.
So we don't just say our product are medical grade. They have medical registration to back up the claims. So yes, we have the oral rinse. So every product that we do, it's the same pure hypochlorous formulation, but it has a different level of filtration. So for example, the oral rinse is the most purified out of the whole range. And it's the only oral rinse in the world that's licensed and registered for children under the age of 6 as well as adults. Because it's that safe, because with children it's obviously very difficult to manage using mouth rinse. So if they're using it and they accidentally happen to swallow a drop, it doesn't harm them in any way at all. We don't recommend they do it, but accidentally, if it happens, no harm can be caused. So it is that safe. And as I say, it's the only one in the world that children can use.
So to get all the medical registration and everything, was that a big process? I'm sure it was.
Yeah, very big, expensive process, but it was worth it, because we wanted, obviously we are a new company, and we wanted to show people that whatever we say, we're backing it up as well. So we have clinical research to prove that the product is effective as we say it is. By doing the research, we obviously have given all the information to MHRA, FDA, our other legal organizations that we have registered the product with, and they have looked at the paperwork, they have looked at all the assessment, they have done their own testing of the products, and they are happy to say that yes, we have the medical device registration behind the product as well. So yeah, it's been a challenge. It's definitely been a challenge.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was worth doing it, definitely.
Yeah, what an achievement though, isn't it? What I find fascinating is because it's like, it feels like we're going back to pure, where like, you know, when we look at like all of the creams and formulations that are out there, you know, and when you look at the ingredient lists on a lot of them, where they are saying that they're pure and all these kind of things, when you look at the ingredient list and it's just like one chemical after another.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's
even when they claim is organic, when they claim is, I don't know, organic, vegan, and those kind of things that they claim. When you look at the ingredients list, it's scary. Sometimes you think, do we really need that many ingredients in one moisturizer, for example? There is no need. But I'm sure they know what they're doing. I can't really, that's not my expertise. But yeah, I think just keeping everything pure and natural is the way forward.
Yeah, yeah. But it's because like in a daily routine for someone to be using Hypo21, how many times in a day would someone use it? Just say, you're new to using Hypo21 and you just like think, right, I've got my bottle. How am I going to use it? Which different ways can I use it? Because I think there's so many different ways.
Of course, yeah. I mean, you can use it at any time of the day, but we do always recommend, let's say somebody's using it for eczema, for example. We recommend that they use it a minimum of twice a day. So on clean skin. So after cleansing, after shower in the morning, they spray it, let it air dry naturally, and then they can apply everything else as normal. The same thing at nighttime. So when they wash everything off, they spray some, let it air dry naturally, and then they can follow that with their nighttime routine. But there is no limit of how many times they can use it, really. So even if you, as you said, you're on the plane or a train, you're traveling anywhere, and you feel like, it's a hot day and, there's lots of bits and bacteria around, spray it on top of your makeup, just spray it on top of your skincare again. So as many times as you want. But the minimum we recommend is at least twice a day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but as well, if someone doesn't have any skin complaints or anything like that, they would just use it just as, like you say, just to keep your skin fresh.
Yeah, absolutely. Off the bacteria, off the pathogens that are around us, because obviously they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And absolutely. So you just basically spray it on clean skin to get rid of all the bacteria that's on the skin, but bad bacteria. It doesn't affect the good bacteria that we want to be on the skin anyway. And then you can follow that with your routine. Yeah, absolutely. And throughout the day, it's good for, even if you're away, for example. Yes, we all use SPF, but sometimes SPF, if you don't top it off enough or, reapply it enough times, it could fail on us. So if you get sunburn for whatever reason, this product is really cooling and it just heals the area. I mean, we've seen so many before and after pictures, for example, that within a short space of less than 24 hours is less irritation, less redness. And or if you accidentally burn your finger, cut your finger, anything like that, it's your first aid in a bottle.
So as it's working, is it the product itself that's working, or is it making your body produce more hypochlorous as well?
No. It's the product that is working. So your body is already producing the hypochlorous. To, let's say you've just burnt your finger, for example, your body is already producing that hypochlorous to sort of repair you from inside. By adding this topically, you're basically just tackling the problem from both sides. And that's what speeds up the healing process. So it's the product that actually does work, because the one inside the body is already happening anyway. But you're topping it up topically, basically.
I know. I do laugh because I can't stop promoting it. I was recently on holiday, and bugs love biting me. Kind of thing. And so,
it's great for that.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah. And then I met someone, and bless her, she's been eaten alive. So I gave her mine before we came home. She came back, she was like, "Oh my word, it's worked so well." So I was thinking, people just don't believe how fast it's going to work, I don't think.
Yeah. I don't usually get bites as much as my husband does, for example.
I know,
He's
weird,
a lot sweeter than me. So
I know, yeah. Stephen doesn't get bitten, but like they love me.
No, Ali gets a lot of bites, but I don't often. But this year I came across fire ants, which I've never seen. Red ants. They're called fire ants, and they are horrible.
They even sound like they're going to be
They
evil.
are horrible. And they started biting my legs. I don't even know where they came from. I was in the garden doing some gardening once, and it was so painful. And it was a relief. Just every time I sprayed it on the area, it was just like calm. It was calm. And within 48 hours, it was all gone. And usually when you look up, bites from fire ants, it could take weeks for them to actually, and the area starts to swell up and it gets quite uncomfortable. But with Hypo21, it was less than 48 hours and it was all healed. Well, it took a bit longer, but it wasn't painful. It wasn't itchy. It was healing quite well.
And obviously you've protected all, so it's all patented and everything.
Well, you can't patent nature. And this is a product that is already in nature. So it can't be patented, but we are working on patenting our filtration system, which is obviously very unique to us.
Yeah.
So that's something that the legal team is working on. It's going to take a while. Again, I'm not really too sure if we want to do that, because once you patent something, all the information becomes public knowledge.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I'm not 100% on board with that just yet. Exactly. I'm not 100% on board on that, but it takes a while anyway. Yeah. So if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But the formulation as it is, because everything that we are using is already available in nature, you can't patent nature.
Wow. So another thing that I love is the fact that at the moment, well, it has to be bought through a registered stockist.
Yeah.
And is that something, I mean, I admire you for that, because it could be here, there and everywhere, couldn't it, kind of thing. And obviously financially, has that been a temptation or?
Well, initially, yes, I must say, I'm not going to lie. Initially, it was, and we thought retail was for us. But then, we started talking about it with Ali, and it was just something that it has to be a professional brand.
Yeah, I just love that you've done that.
And that's what that's a promise that now we've made to all our stockist partners. We have about 3,000 clinics we work with.
Yeah.
A lot of them are on our stockist list. Some of them don't want to be on it, which is fine. But that is the promise that we make. As long as we are in charge of the company, that is our promise to everybody, that we are keeping this as a professional brand. And unfortunately, there are some partners that we have that have stocked the products, for example, on eBay, which I don't know why, but we have identified those accounts and we have reported them to eBay and we are getting them taken down. But it's a product that we don't want to be on Amazon, on eBay, or, in Boots or places like that. People can easily buy them from stockists. We have stockists at least in every area, not far away. So people can easily pick up a bottle, or all our stockists are really good partners as well. So if, for example, somebody doesn't live close by and call them, they'll happily post it out to them as well.
Yeah.
So there is that. I mean, we work quite closely with our stockists, and we are there to support them as well.
Yeah.
So,
But you can buy as well from your website.
Yes, we do have a website. Our retail website is there just to help people out, but we try to direct everybody to our stockist partners, just because if they have a question that we're not able to cover, then they can get some professional advice before they purchase the product.
Yeah.
And there might be something else that could also help them alongside Hypo21, which a professional would be able to advise accordingly.
Yeah, and that's what we found.
Yeah.
But news travels fast as well. We get people coming from all over, really, to buy it, because they say, I just love it. And and you are right. The thing is, when someone comes in, for us as well, it's being able to give them advice on how when it's a skin complaint or whatever, how that skin complaints come about,
Sure.
and because prevention is better as well, better than cure. So I just love the fact that you are supporting and helping everyone so well as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for example, a combination of Hypo21 and LED therapy works really well for a lot of people with skin irritation. So they can have the LED therapy at the clinic, and then as a home care, there is nothing else for them other than Hypo21 that would really help. So a lot of clinics, when they get a passerby come in and say, oh, can I buy a Hypo21? What do you want it for example? Oh, I want it for eczema, for example. Yeah, you can have Hypo21, but also LED therapy, for example, really helps too. So they get that client hopefully signing up. So it's good for their business, as well as obviously they can sell Hypo21 as well, promote other treatments too.
Yeah. And I mean, we use it before electrolysis, before, just to have the skin sterile, where in the past, again, we've had to use chemical-based things. So, it for us, it's just a win-win. And like I said, and I genuinely mean this, that in all the years I've been in the industry, I've never ever come across anything like it that is just suitable for anything and everything.
It's obviously the bigger bottle is our procedure care, which is more of an antibacterial solution. So as you said, you use that pre and post operative care, and it's so safe that you can use it with any treatment. And sometimes I speak to a therapist and they say, oh, I recommend Hypo21. I say, you use this for pre and post operative care, the bigger bottle. They say, what is that? Why? So, and they've been in the industry for 20 years. Yeah. So it actually worries me thinking, have they not used anything? What do you mean? What do I use it for? You need to clean the skin, because obviously we do have bacteria. Yeah. It doesn't matter how much you cleanse the skin before your treatments. You're not getting rid of the bacteria. You're getting rid of the makeup. You're getting rid of excess, oil on the skin perhaps, but you're not really getting rid of the bacteria. So after you've cleansed the skin before you do your treatments, you do need an antibacterial solution to clean the skin of the pathogens. And then obviously you do your treatments, and then there is a home care, and that's where Hypo21 is very good at. So and
then we use a larger one as well for the surface as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's antibacterial, you can use it on your chairs, you can use it to spray the air, you can spray, your surfaces, your instruments, your anything that you use. You can easily use this on. As you know, obviously in March, I was in America at the Skin Games, and I was speaking to so many therapists that they were saying, oh, I just use 70% alcohol when, let's say, I'm treating a patient with rosacea, for example. Just like 70% alcohol wipe on a already compromised skin barrier.
Ouch.
Exactly. That must be so painful. But that's all we know. That's all, they were used to. So now they're understanding more about the safety of Hypo21 and how they can use it. It's been life-changing for a lot of the clinics as well. It's the same here. I mean, we still talk to a lot of medics, for example, that they are so used to using something chemical-based, alcohol-based to clean the skin, because that was the best practice, I don't know, hundreds of years ago. Yeah. But, science has developed since then, and there is a great product, a great alternative that is not harsh on the skin.
And would you say, what percentage, is it mainly salons and clinics, non-medical, that are using it, or is it equally the same amount for medics and what about the dental trade? Are they using it as well?
The dental, yes, absolutely. They use it for when they do facial aesthetics, but the oral rinse is quite popular in the dental world as well. Yeah. When it comes to our clinics, I would say we have more therapists and salons that using it than medics, but that is growing. Maybe I would say is a 60-40% ratio. But yeah, absolutely. More and more medics are coming on board with the product as well. And they're learning more about it and the safety of Hypo21 and this formulation of Hypo21, and switching over from whatever it is they're using to hypo because they've seen the results. So any sort of testimony, we do have the testimonial album that you've seen, for example.
Yeah.
It has
brilliant.
52 pages of screenshots of what clinics send us. So they're not edited in any way, shape or form. So they are there for you. Let's say your clinic sends me a before and after picture, and we obviously get your consent, and then we take a screenshot of that, and then we use that for the clinics to, advertise Hypo21. But it's not edited in any way at all. All we do is add the logo of the clinic that sends them to us. Yeah. So they're there. So it's not a lot of them are not your beautiful before and after pictures that you see. They are edited. There are genuine feedback from clients, and you can always trace them. You can always go back to the clinic that has the logo on them. It's usually on their social media platforms anyway, so you can sort of refer back and get clarifications if you need to. But yeah, every testimonial that we have proves that. So a lot of the medics see that, and they start researching more about their products, and we get in more and more medical clinics signing up every day as well. We work with quite a lot of GPs, for example. And even though they can't really sell the product because it's not available on the NHS, they do still recommend Hypo21 to us and our stockists. So they come on the website and either buy from us or they buy from our stockist partners. But we work with quite a lot of GPs.
And do you feel that you've got the full suite of products now? I know there's very slight different formulations in like the baby one, an infant, and with the oral one and things. Is there anything else?
There is more coming.
I might have known that because that's the entrepreneurial side probably still.
It's just never stopping. It's just like my brain's working 24/7. Yes, there is one particular product that we've been working on for the past couple of years. And again, the formulation of hypochlorous is so sensitive and fragile. You can't do much with it. So this particular product I'm quite excited about. So yeah, one day. Soon.
And is that a secret?
Well, yeah. At the moment, because I don't know if it's going to happen or not.
Oh, right. Okay, well, I might have to get you back about that then.
Yeah, I don't want to say something just in case it doesn't happen. But there are a couple of things that are on the pipeline, but one particular one that I'm most excited about. But again, the formula would be pure hypochlorous, but it just will be slightly different as well. So yeah, it's exciting. But it's been a killer to make. So we will get there.
So if anyone wanted to try Hypo21 and they don't, I know now you've formulated the little sample sachets, which are fantastic.
Yeah.
So what's the best way for someone who's, because we get such a mix of listeners for the podcast. So what's the best way for someone to, if they are not from our industry, just wanted to try the product, is that the best way for them to go on to your website and just look for the nearest stockist?
Yes. So if they're not in the industry, obviously they can't be a trade partner, but they can always contact our stockist partners. A lot of them already stock the sample sachets and they might be willing to offer sample sachets. If not, then obviously they can always purchase one to try the product. But we've never had a client saying, I've used it, I don't like it, or it hasn't worked on me. Can I retain it? It hasn't happened, or if it's happened, I've never heard of it. So it's kind of like when they buy it, they would definitely either themselves or somebody in the family would benefit from using it.
Yeah.
So if you've got children, for example, that play sports, my daughter plays football 6 times a week and she's a goalkeeper, so she gets injured quite often.
A few scuffs.
Yes, it's a daily process.
She's popular, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's like going around spraying everyone.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I always have one in her bag and I have one in the car because I'm always at the matches and always cheering her on. So if something happens to her, she says straight away, do you have hypo? Do you have hypo on you? So, because it's the only thing that obviously is safe for her to use. And I don't want her to put any harsh chemicals on her skin.
Yeah, exactly.
So their skin is quite delicate anyway. So if she gets any cuts and grazes or anything like that, I spray her. My older one is the same as well. So she's not very sporty, bless her, but she's a typical teenager. So if she gets any spots or anything like that, Hypo21 is part of her routine. So he gets rid of it very quickly for her. So even if you buy one and you decide that it's not for you, you don't want to use it, it's your first aid in a bottle. Yeah. So, we all cut our fingers, we all, accidents happen. So it can always be something that you have handy that you can use.
That's just my go-to for everything. So if anyone wanted to speak to you about it,
I'm always there.
Yeah, I was going to say it's likely to be you who someone speaks to, isn't it?
I'm always there. So if anybody has any questions, they can reach out to myself. My mobile is on the website, so they can reach out to me and I'll answer any questions that I possibly can about the product. If they're asking me any questions about, skin irritations and things like that, skin conditions, I may not be able to help. So, but I always refer them on to one of our advocates who is experienced in the industry, and they can advise them accordingly.
And then someone from the industry. I mean, you always have a presence at the professional beauty shows.
We are at every show.
And the aesthetic shows
we
as
do
well.
all the aesthetic shows as well,
So there's always that way. But what we'll do as well, we'll put your details into the show notes as well, Nikki.
Thank you.
But honestly, as I say, it's my favourite ever product.
Thank you.
So, and thank you for going through all of the process of processing and producing it as well. Because it's been a long journey for you.
It has been a long journey. And, the hype of hypochlorous is becoming quite popular. There are other hypochlorous products on the market. Even though they may claim that they're pure, always do your own research. Look at the ingredients list, look at the cost sheets, look at the lab reports. You have every right to ask. So ask for those documentations. And once you've seen it, if you're confident that the product is what it says on the bottle, then go ahead and use it. Otherwise, hypochlorous is very unstable. They have added chemicals. And as soon as they add chemicals, it does become hypochlorite, which is a sanitizer, but it doesn't have any healing effect on the skin. So yes, you can use it to clean your surfaces and stuff, but if you want it as a healing spray, there isn't one on the market. So Hypo21 is the only biomimetic, formulation that is absolutely that's available, and we have enough registration and accreditation to prove it as well.
Amazing. Well done. Honest, as I say, hats off to you.
Thank you.
For all that you've done, because it's awesome, and you've helped so many people.
That's what keeps us going, is when we get the results, when we hear feedbacks from people that have suffered for 20 years and they've been skin irritations are difficult to get rid of. And, they've been on steroids, they've been on all sorts of different medication and nothing has helped them. And Hypo21 has been life-changing for them. So it's lovely and that's what keeps us going. So the more of these stories that we hear, it's just wonderful. It is absolutely wonderful to hear them.
Amazing. Thank you, Nikki, for coming over, because
I
know how busy you are.
It's always a pleasure seeing you, and thank you for the opportunity as well.